need a horse and a gun.
No, you need rest and something to eat. I'm going after him.
No.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 10 cast and crew dramas that almost ruined the whole movie.
Like tears in rain.
You see, your team is about to go up against the only thing they can't handle.
What's that?
You.
Well, I think that is extremely rude.
For this list, we're taking a look at reported juicy behind-the-scenes drama that caused a lot of problems and nearly ruined the completion of a film. What's the most scandalous story you've heard about movie making? Share them with us in the comments below. If you like what you're hearing, be sure to check out the full song at the link below. Number 10, Bohemian Rhapsody.
What about me?
Not with those teeth, mate.
In 2018, we finally got a movie about Queen and Freddie Mercury. It just wasn't quite the movie we were expecting. The middling quality of the film can be attributed primarily to internal issues and reshuffling, as the movie suffered from a very problematic production. Most of it can be attributed to director Bryan Singer. Singer reportedly didn't get along with Rami Malek on numerous occasions, wasn't often on time, and would even go missing, forcing the cinematographer to step in as director.
No, that's a stupid question.
Take it easy, Fred.
What's next?
Singer claims that the issue stemmed from family troubles, as he was caring for his sick mother. Regardless, actor Tom Hollander reportedly left the film over issues with Singer, and the director was eventually fired and replaced by Fox with 2 weeks left of filming.
If you say so.
Number 9, Mad Max Fury Road.
That's bait.
This is one of the greatest action films of our generation, thanks in large part to the incredible action and the chemistry between Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron. In the movie, Hardy's Max and Theron's Furiosa begin hating each other, but gradually form a reluctant bond throughout the story. In this case, art imitated life, or vice versa. Hardy and Theron did not get along while filming either, owing to a multitude of factors. It certainly didn't help that shooting conditions were nigh unbearable. Everyone was homesick while stuck in the hot desert, the extreme weather was wreaking havoc on the set, the performers were often cramped together in the rig, and the movie lacked a conventional script, all of which proved a source of pent-up frustration for the actors. Number 8, Gladiator. Production of this sword and sandals epic was riddled with problems, including Oliver Reed's death, which forced them to rewrite the ending and spend $3 million on a CGI face.
I did not pay good money for you for your company. I paid it so that I could profit from your death.
But filming was also rife with drama, stemming from the lack of a finalized script. The screenplay underwent numerous rewrites throughout filming, with frustrated actors often providing the changes themselves. Russell Crowe declined to say certain lines and once stormed off set when he didn't get answers to his inquiries.
I will give them something they've never seen before.
During his Inside the Actors Studio segment, Crowe admitted, quote, "A lot of the stuff that I have to deal with now in terms of my volatility has to do with that experience."
How dare you show your back to me?
Number 7, Blade Runner.
He say you Blade Runner.
Tell him I'm eating.
Ridley Scott is an undeniable master of the filmmaking craft, but it's clear that some of his actors have found him difficult. Scott and Harrison Ford did not get along while filming Blade Runner, and in 2006, Scott told BBC News that Ford was the biggest pain in the arse he ever worked with.
It won't affect the test.
Ford also despised doing the voiceover narration, as he didn't like the studio interference and believed that it made the movie worse. It's also reported that Ford and Sean Young did not get along on set, forcing the crew to label their love scene the hate scene. Turns out that the movie's dark, grimy aesthetic perfectly mirrored the mood on set.
Like tears in rain.
Number 6. The Revenant. If filming The Revenant looked like total hell on earth, that's because it was. There's a reason Leonardo DiCaprio took a 4-year hiatus after this movie. The production of The Revenant was infamously terrible, with many members of the crew either being let go or leaving of their own accord owing to the perpetually harsh conditions.
I'll tell you why, it's because you ain't a man yet.
This included the director's rigid perfectionism and filming in remote, dark, and freezing locations. DiCaprio himself was absolutely ravaged, telling Yahoo Entertainment, quote, "I can name 30 or 40 sequences that were some of the most difficult things I've ever had to do. This includes wading through freezing bodies of water, consistently risking hypothermia, and eating raw bison liver." Number 5. The Harry Potter franchise.
I want to have a little conversation with this one. Girl to girl.
Unlike many child actors, the core 3 performers from Harry Potter got out relatively unscathed. Relatively being the operative word here. Audiences very nearly received a different Hermione and Harry, as both Emma Watson and Daniel Radcliffe encountered personal difficulties relating to the franchise.
Hermione, welcome back.
Watson hated how controlled and scheduled her life was while filming and seriously contemplated leaving the series, telling the Daily Mail, quote, "I get told what time I can eat when I have time to go to the bathroom. Every single second of my day is not in my power." Meanwhile, Radcliffe faced constant pressure playing the world's most popular character and took to alcohol, which included being inebriated on set. Luckily, he's been sober since 2010.
Hello, Harry. I've interrupted a deep thought, haven't I? I can see it growing smaller in your eyes.
Of course not.
Number 4. Whatever Happened to Baby Jane?
Do you remember what year you made that picture? But of course.
This classic psychological thriller stars Bette Davis and Joan Crawford, but only the former was nominated for an Academy Award for her work. Despite both of their incredible performances, the two leading actresses famously detested each other, so much so that their feud served as juicy promotional material for the movie. It's a miracle they got through filming, but their feud continued after it had been completed.
Oh, you're a liar. You're just a liar. You always were.
Davis supposedly ignored Crawford's contributions to the movie, which in turn caused Crawford to drop out of the publicity tour. She also upstaged Davis at the year's Oscars ceremony and reportedly lobbied against her receiving the award. Their story served as the basis for FX's Emmy-nominated feud, with Jessica Lange playing Crawford and Susan Sarandon playing Davis. Number 3. The Fate of the Furious.
You see, your team is about to go up against the only thing they can't handle.
What's that?
You.
In 2016, Dwayne Johnson famously posted a salty caption on Instagram reading, quote, "Some male co-stars conduct themselves as stand-up men and true professionals, while others don't. The ones that don't are too chicken shit to do anything about it anyway. Candy asses." Fans guessed that the post was about Vin Diesel, which TMZ claimed to be the case. Meanwhile, Johnson himself admitted that the two have shared many heated moments together, owing to fundamental differences in personality and their respective approaches to filmmaking.
Because where I'm from, we don't settle fights by throwing bombs.
Well, that's funny because where I'm from, we don't need women to run to our rescue.
Their scenes in Fate were filmed separately, and it was later announced that Johnson would not be returning for F9. Diesel himself has weighed in, telling USA Today, quote, "It's not always easy being an alpha. And it's two alphas."
You want to see the old Dom? Watch.
Number 2. The Godfather.
How bad do you think it's gonna be?
Pretty goddamn bad.
It's a miracle that The Godfather was even made. Francis Ford Coppola had a hell of a time getting it made, clashing with Paramount Pictures over nearly every aspect. They quarreled about the movie's budget and setting. They fought about casting both Al Pacino and Marlon Brando, neither of whom the studio wanted.
What's the matter with you?
There were inflating production costs and a prolonged shooting schedule to fight over. The studio wanted more violent scenes to make the movie more exciting. Eventually, studio exec Robert Evans asked Elia Kazan to take over directing duties from Coppola, but this never came to fruition. Coppola also had the assistant director and editor fired for conspiring against him. In short, production was an absolute nightmare.
Look how they massacred my boy.
Before we unveil our number one pick, here are a few honorable mentions. Kramer vs. Kramer. Dustin Hoffman antagonized Meryl Streep and taunted her with her recently deceased fiancé.
Because I'm not a loser, Jim. You know that. And I've never let anything at home, come into the office.
The Blues Brothers. John Belushi's constant partying wreaked havoc on production.
Come, Elwood. Let us adjourn ourselves to the nearest table and overlook this establishment's board of fare.
Sex and the City. The cast, or at least some members of it, reportedly can't stand each other.
But in our crew, we never kiss and tell.
Three Kings. Director David O. Russell ticked off pretty much everyone involved.
Look at him. It's so sad.
Terms of endearment. Shirley MacLaine didn't like working with both Deborah Winger and Jack Nicholson.
Well, I think that is extremely rude.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope.
I've just about had enough of you. Go that way.
George Lucas created what is arguably the most influential science fiction film ever made, despite being an inexperienced director. Unfortunately, his inexperience resulted in a ton of tension on set. His crew, primarily cinematographer Gilbert Taylor, allegedly thought he was too demanding and controlling. The cast complained about his lack of direction. Alec Guinness didn't like the script and called it fairy tale rubbish.
He was the best star pilot in the galaxy.
The studio hated that the movie was constantly going over budget and falling behind schedule. Meanwhile, production experienced props that didn't work and inclement weather, furthering everyone's frustration. Many people reported that Lucas appeared depressed throughout filming, and he was eventually treated for exhaustion owing to the stress. Luckily, the results were well worth the trouble.
Don't worry, Chewie. I think I know what he has in mind.
Do you agree with our picks? Let us know in the comments. And hey, if you're a fan of the song playing right now, be sure to check out the music video for it right here.